finally these reporters are starting to like wise up and ask the hard questions and keep asking the hard questions when they don't get a good answer.
Yeah, and call him out and say, you didn't even answer the question, dimwit. Welcome back to Northern Perspective, everyone. I'm Cypher.
And I'm Fox. Justin Trudeau was doing a press conference in Toronto this past week and was joined by Olivia Chow and Sean Fraser. He was trying to make it about housing, but the mainstream media was trying to turn this into the Hong Dong show. Let's take a look.
Good morning. Prime Minister, you and your members of your cabinet have defended Mr. Dong, saying you believe he did nothing wrong. Yesterday at the public inquiry into foreign interference, an intelligence document was tabled stating that Mr. Dong told Chinese officials that even if the two Michaels were released right away, opposition parties would view the PRC's action as evidence a hardline strategy against China works. The document also said Mr. Dong provided advice on what might, quote, help to placate public opinion and provide valuable talking points to the Liberal Party. When did you learn of CSIS's account of these conversations, and does this information change your opinion of Mr. Dong's fitness for caucus?
Foreign interference is a real challenge everywhere around the world. We know that certain countries and actors are engaged in trying to disrupt, in attempts to disrupt our institutions, our businesses, our economy, and our electoral processes. That's why in 2015, we started to work on protecting our country more from foreign interference. We created oversight bodies that watch both our elections process, that oversee all the work our national security agencies do, and we've continued to give them more and more tools. The ongoing Foreign Interference Commission is an important way of highlighting some of the challenges we face and some of the solutions that we've put forward to keep our democracy safe. And I want to reinforce to everyone that our expert, nonpartisan panel looking at the 2019 and 2021 elections confirmed that those elections happened in a way where the integrity held, where the outcome was decided by Canadians. Obviously, this commission is ongoing, and I look forward to being part of it. I will be testifying before the commission next week. This is an important way of answering these questions, of engaging with this in the right forum.
Wow, way to like totally not answer that question at all. Like not even a little bit.
He kind of completely screwed his own answer, because he said we started to put in protections in 2015. Yeah, well, the problem is this happened in 2019, genius, and this didn't even happen at the federal level. It happened within your own party's system. This is the whole problem here. So even when he's trying to deflect from this, our independent investigation, found that the 2019 and 21 federal elections, they weren't changed by the outcome. They're not talking about the 2019 federal election.
No, they're talking about the nomination process.
Yeah, the nomination election within Don Valley North.
And that's within the Liberal Party. That's not a federal thing.
The Don Valley North nomination election where CSIS actually sent you a memo saying you may not want to consider Han Dong for this riding as a candidate, which you ignored?
Oh, well, he'd be racist if he followed through with the CSIS recommendations.
Right?
Come on. Like, that's how this guy thinks. It's like, CSIS it's their job to be right. Okay, it's their job to gather intelligence and to be correct about that intelligence, and then to provide you, Mr. Prime Minister, with that intelligence.
Well, I hope they nail him to the wall next week. Next week.
Yeah.
I really, really hope they do.
I want to see what the reporter says on his follow-up, if he gets one.
But wow, what a start to a press conference that's supposed to be about housing, folks.
Thank you, but with all due respect, you didn't really answer the question in that, does this information change your opinion of Mr. Dong's fitness for caucus? And also, in light of the testimony and the documents you've heard, Will you allow Mr. Dong to return to caucus, and why have you not done so already?
Good on Global News.
Finally, these reporters are starting to like wise up and ask the hard questions and keep asking the hard questions when they don't get a good answer.
Yeah, and call him out and say, you didn't even answer the question, dimwit. Like, I'm sorry. Not acceptable. Not acceptable when Trudeau was the one going around telling everybody that they're racist because they're questioning a whistleblower's report about this MP. Why was everyone getting fired up about that? Because of what was in it. Like, and we saw in the foreign interference inquiry on our last video that Han Dong did not refute any of the intelligence brought forth by the commission. And what it also did is validated all of these leaks that the global news received and the Globe and Mail received. So that way, there's no question anymore that, yes, they actually did receive those leaks from people within CSIS.
And not only that, but Han Dong's testimony made him look like he was trying to hide something or cover it up or lie. It was awful. Awful.
Yeah, covered up badly.
Obviously, these are ongoing conversations that need to be taken very seriously, and we are. This commission is an important moment for Canadians and for our institutions to really take stock of everything we've done to keep Canadians safe and look at what more might be needed to be done by our intelligence services to keep the integrity of our democratic institutions and our economy whole. That's why I'm looking forward to participating next week in the Commission's work.
Thank you. Next question.
Wow, he still didn't answer the question about Han Dong. Okay, so Cypher, because this is kind of like almost an employee-employer relationship between Justin Trudeau and Han Dong. Well, he's not really anymore, but, maybe there's potential to bring him back into caucus. If it was your employee, let's say, that you had been asked a public question about, how would you answer that?
Well, it's different in the context of a private organization, but I'll put myself in Trudeau's shoes because it's not a private employee in question. It's a publicly affected official.
Yeah.
So what I would say if I were Trudeau, and bear in mind, folks, it's quite obvious that Trudeau has been told to say, do not even say Han Dong's name. Do not answer any question that has any perimeter of an answer around Han Dong.
Yeah, because before you answer, if it was me, I would have said something like, "Oh, well, I look forward to having these conversations with Mr. Dong in the near future," or just something frivolous like that, right?
Well, so what he can say is any allegation about any member of Parliament brought forth by our intelligence services has to be treated with care, has to be treated with concern. And we want to ensure that we have all of the facts before we take any action whatsoever. You can say something like that. It's still a crap answer. But at least it's somewhere in the vicinity of it. Now, the problem, and this is where I want them to nail Trudeau to the wall next week, but I don't know if they will. The problem that he's going to be facing is he knew. And this is what we've started to see emerge as a pattern from the public inquiry, which is what the Liberals were trying to avoid in going to a public inquiry, is that they had information. So one of the things that came out yesterday is that the Trudeau government was very concerned about a false story about the school antics out west, a false story about Trudeau leading up to the 2019 election. So the Privy Council office issued a request to Facebook to bury that on social media. Meanwhile, nothing was done by the Privy Council or the Trudeau government to limit the disinformation of anything related to the Conservatives.
Oh, of course not.
So it's a pattern of they knew something and didn't tell anybody. We heard from all of the campaign leaders of the different parties outside of the Liberals, and What was their feedback? Is that there was this foreign interference going on and nobody told them. So Trudeau says he spun up all of these different organizations to protect against foreign interference. Well, what the heck good is it if that intelligence isn't shared with the campaign leaders of the different parties during the federal election?
Yeah, what good is intelligence if it's not acted upon?
So this is what is coming out in the public inquiry, is that the government didn't tell anybody. The question that everybody wants to know is why?
Why
That's the
indeed?
magic question.
Why indeed?